Good morning, everyone. This is State Climatologist Gary McManus with your Mesonet Weather Report. Well, what can I say? It continues to rain here and there, sometimes more here and sometimes less there, but at least we're making some changes on that drought monitor map. And remember, when we look at the new drought monitor map here in a second, it only counts from Tuesday to Tuesday. So any rainfall that's fallen after Tuesday at 7 a.m. goes on next week's map. So let's not delay any further and get right to the new map. So we did make some changes along the edges of that drought across west central into central Oklahoma, also up in the panhandle. We are getting some relief, but what we can see really is much of the eastern half to 2/3 of the state, again, except for central Oklahoma, largely out of drought in that yellow color, which is abnormally dry conditions, or the white, which is completely out of drought. So we are making progress. We just need a little bit more rainfall there in the areas in the red and the darker red. Here's a good look at sort of the rains we had to work with this week. A little bit of this fell after Tuesday, but we can see a large area of heavy rainfall from north central down into east central Oklahoma. Also a little bit into south central into southeast Oklahoma. Look at Idabel down there that had 11.94 inches of rainfall. So some incredible rainfall totals down in that area. Also up in Kay County. We did see a little bit of rain across far west central Oklahoma for the first time in a long time. About 1 to 2 inches in some areas. Take a look at the precipitation outlook as we go through summer and then into fall and winter. We'll just look at a few of these outlook maps from the Climate Prediction Center. First, for the July through September period, they do see increased odds of below normal precipitation. Generally, we see increased odds of below normal precipitation across the southern half of the state, extending a little bit farther into north central Oklahoma. But again, for the rest of the state, equal odds of above, below, or near normal conditions. So a little bit of a dry next 3 months, according to the Climate Prediction Center. Now, when we get to the September through November period, we start to see the impacts of that El Nino that's expected, this strong to very strong El Nino. We start to see increased odds of above normal precipitation out across the western 1/5 of the state, including the panhandle. Also, we see an increase in moisture from the monsoonal flow across the desert southwest into the western panhandle. Now, as we jump forward into the October through December time frame and then November through January, we really start to see the impacts of that El Nino with increased odds of above normal precipitation across both of those 3-month periods. So we do have drought on the run, at least for June. Hopefully we get a little bit more moisture in here before the heat of summer sets in, and then we start to look towards the fall and winter and hope for that increased moisture from the El Nino. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.